It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this, the 29th day of June. Coming to you from CocoCay in the Bahamas on board Freedom of the Seas. And folks, I got to show you something. This is, before I get to the news this morning, I'm going to see if I can do this without screwing the camera up totally. But look at this. The ship is like virtually empty. I mean, this is, hey, there we go. How you doing? Yeah. Well, look at this. This is down the Royal Promenade, and there's nobody here. I've never seen it this empty at this time of day. I mean, everybody's on shore. So, but it's really strange. So where I normally have an audience, there's not much of an audience on board here today. That's okay. Anyway, welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News. By the way, folks, the main story today is a brawl on a Carnival ship. I started to do this as a standalone video yesterday afternoon when I first got the information from Carnival and read through it and cleaned it up. Then I said, I'll just wait for today. Of course, this is the 29th day of June. And today, folks, is National Waffle Iron Day. I have no idea why anybody would come up with that. But so I had a waffle for breakfast this morning, just to keep things copacetic. Cruise ship sailing from North America ports today. Down at West Palm Beach, you got Margaritaville at Sea Paradise. Miami, you got the Scarlet Lady, Galveston, Grandeur of the Seas. San Francisco, Ruby Princess. Up in Seattle, Norwegian Spirit and Carnival Spirit both sail. Then in Seattle, you've got Noordam and Zuiderdam land packages starting. Vancouver, you've got the Zuiderdam cruise and land packages. You got the Seven Seas Mariner cruise and the New Amsterdam land packages, both from Vancouver. In Anchorage, the Grand Princess sails. Royal Princess and Koningsdam, Zuiderdam, and Noordam land packages all get started. In Fairbanks, you've got Royal Princess, Starbreeze, and Noordam land packages. You've got Majestic Princess land packages also from Fairbanks. And out in Honolulu, Pride of America land packages for those people that have not been canceled off of the Pride of America. In addition to today's headlines on the Carnival Brawl, there's a special story just for you single cruisers or solo cruisers out there. Not single cruisers, my bad. Solo cruisers out there. No single supplement on select celebrity cruises. We're going to talk about that. Holland America adds a second transatlantic voyage. Silversea adds Antarctica voyages. Another Norwegian Sun cancellation. Finally, we're expecting that. But boy, they waited till the last minute. And a whole lot more here at 11 o'clock this morning. If you're listening via the podcast, welcome aboard. You can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or anywhere where you get your podcasts from, like TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, any of the big guys. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and the old fat travel guy will pop up. All right, before we get to the news this morning, I do have a couple things to dispense with. I would like to absolutely confess that last evening, the gang kept me out way past my bedtime. Of course, that's Jordan and Jarrett. We were up in the theater for the Broadway show last night, which was just outstanding. I did not go past the show, however, since that was way past my bedtime anyway. But it was a fantastic show. I thoroughly enjoyed it, the whole thing. And what is that? Hot Air Tom had a nice, fruitful breakfast on Pearl, and then proceeded to go misbehave. And as I understand it, the first thing he did was got. So that was Hot Air Tom in the caves. And then he did a Segway thing. Look, Ma, no hands. So that's Hot Air Tom with as usual. They did go to the glass beach. Said it was a little rough for walking around barefooted. And then he got back on the Norwegian Pearl and was tired and sat and watched the end of the ship as they sailed away from Bermuda. So that was Hot Air Tom in Bermuda yesterday. All right, guys, we'll be back for today's news and a special for you solo cruisers after word from one of our network sponsors. All right, on with the news, folks. I have to tell you that I basically harvested this information from a public relations notice from Carnival Cruise Line that you had to get rid of all the garbage to get down to the facts. And then I pulled in information from several other sources. But the Carnival Magic had a special welcoming committee as she returned to Manhattan's west side from an 8-day Caribbean cruise. The cruise ship was escorted into port by the U.S. Coast Guard, and the New York Police Department was waiting for the ship when it landed to start an investigation into an incident. Now, keep in mind that this was from a typical Carnival-type PR statement, which raises several questions and comments which they left unanswered. Here are the facts that I've been able to gather. At 5:20 a.m., get the time, 5:20 a.m. on Monday, two people got into an argument in the nightclub on the Carnival Magic, which quickly exploded into a brawl that erupted in the ship's nightclub, which involved 60 people. On Tuesday morning, New York police boarded the ship to break up the brawl. The violent brawl broke out on the dance floor while the ship was sailing near the Verrazano Narrows Bridge on its way into New York, of course, which connects Brooklyn and Staten Island. There were no significant injuries reported. According to the Carnival statement, it's not uncommon for events such as these to happen, especially late at night when people are tired and alcohol is involved. Huh? Luckily for those on board for the fun, the ship's security teams are well trained to deal with these situations. However, the authorities were called in by Carnival Cruise Line to deal with those involved. Police said it was not clear whether the fight took place in international waters, New York, or New Jersey. Due to that inconsistency, no arrests have been made. So, now I have a couple questions, folks. I've been cruising a long time, and I've done a lot of partying on cruise ships, especially when I was younger, and would have $1,000 bar bills on for a cruise. I've never been up at 5:20 in the morning in the clubs. I didn't even know they were ever open that late. I thought they all closed at like 2 o'clock, some of them 3 o'clock. This was 5:20 a.m. and there were 60 people in the club. I'm thinking, my stars. But then Carnival had to point out that their staff is well trained to handle these situations and that they occur all the time. If they're well trained to handle the situations, why'd you have to call the police in to stop the brawl? Unbelievable. So, only on Carnival. All right. All of you solo guys out there, please take note of this one. This is awesome. Celebrity Cruises will allow solo cruisers to sail at the same rate as those who took double occupancy on nearly 300 cruises to the Caribbean, Alaska, and Europe through next March. Normally, solo cruisers who are staying in a cabin by themselves have to pay anywhere from 150 to 200% of the double occupancy. Celebrity Cruises has eliminated the single supplement on hundreds of cruises starting this week. It's good on over 275 cruises that depart from June 26th through March 30th of 2023. Now, it's not every cruise, folks. You got to pick and choose and shop. But for you solo guys like me, I'm going to do the same thing. You want to start looking at that now, because a celebrity cruise with no single supplement or solo supplement, that is awesome. Offer applies to select interior, ocean view, veranda, concierge class, aqua class, and suite category staterooms. So, there's a good one, guys, from Celebrity. All right, Holland America, the damn ships. As the 150th anniversary approaches on April 18th, 2023, Holland America has added a second commemorative transatlantic crossing aboard Rotterdam to its celebration schedule. Departing from Port Everglades on April the 3rd, the 16-night cruise will sail to Rotterdam in the Netherlands, retracing in reverse the line's first voyage. From Port Everglades, the ship will head to New York City, stay there overnight, and then will spend 8 days crossing the Atlantic, calling at Plymouth and Dover, England, before arriving April 18th, the line's anniversary, at Rotterdam for an overnight full of festivities. All right, Silverseas, which admittedly, folks, I've never sailed on. Silversea just announced it will be enhancing its all-inclusive polar offering by adding 3 Antarctica bridge voyages for 2023-2024 season as part of its Fly Cruise program. Silversea's Silver Cloud will embark on 2 new 5-day expedition voyages departing February 2nd and 7th, 2024, as well as a 6-day sailing departing February 12th, 2024. So that's Silverseas. And one last word from the Norwegian Sun. As expected, the June 30th Norwegian Sun cruise has been sailing. That's the 5-nighter. You know, it hit the iceberg. The cruise that was currently on got back into Juneau, or it's getting back in actually tomorrow, I think. But anyway, they're sailing at a reduced speed. They're going to get back to Juneau, then the next 5-day cruise is canceled. Currently, the July 5th cruise, the next one on the schedule, which is a 9-dayer, is still open. However, guys, I mean, I hate to throw cold water in a situation, but I wouldn't be surprised if that one gets canceled also. obviously they've got some damage to that ship, and I'm not sure that they can fix it on the fly. So anyway, that's Norwegian Sun. And again, I don't believe much that comes out of Norwegian's mouth about that one right now. All right. That's going to wrap up the news today, folks. Let's jump over in the chat room, see who's with me. One of the problems in doing this the show here is that I can't see the chat while I'm actually doing the show itself. Someone is waiting in your other video about pool access. I think they are confused. Oh, well, I guess I just posted a video on pool access. Mike's with us. Hi, Mike. Gretchen's here. Hot Air, he's with us. Hot Air's back on the boat there on the Pearl, sailing back to, used going back to Boston and then sailing again, right, Tom? Back to back? Jason says, well, everyone went ashore, of course. Yeah. I'm really surprised. Not really. But it just seems, because the ship's pretty crowded, so I guess it's going to be really crowded ashore. I'm probably going to go meet up with the JJ Crew group guys there in the pool on CocoCay. I will probably do that after I get this all processed. Kenneth's with us. Hi, Kenneth. Says good morning. Hopefully you're having an awesome cruise and enjoying the weather and a couple of drinks. Wow, of course I am. And yes, last night I did have a couple of adult beverages. We had a really nice dinner. I got to have dinner with Jordan and Jarrett and three of the other guests on the group cruise. So it was a very nice dinner, and I had a good time with them at the show last night. And then that was enough for the old guy. I had let the young guys go at it. If they want to stay out for a couple more hours, good for them. I had to go to bed. Michael Gale's with us. Hi, Michael. Hot Air Tom. Jason says, I heard NCL is going bankrupt. Is that true? Jason, I have gotten some reports that they are in some trouble as well. Hot Air says, Jason, do you have sound? Yes, I hear the fat travel guy. I need to do an audit. Oh, Hot Air needs to do an audit of NCL. I've been getting some similar grumblings, Jason. I'll throw that in as well. Nikki's with us. Kenneth says Hot Air Tom owns Norwegian Cruise Line. It certainly seems like it. Carol's with us. Hi, Carol. How you doing, darling? Jason says it's better to brawl than to jump ship. Okay, Jason, you're younger than I am. Have you ever been in a club at 5:20 in the morning? I had no idea they were open at 5:20 in the morning. I'm up at 5:20, but I'm sure not in any clubs. I might be up researching my show for the day. And yeah, it's 6 o'clock if the buffet is open, or like here, Cafe Promenade, I come down and get my coffee. But yeah, no, I'm not in any club at 5:20. I'd be curious if anybody else has ever seen 5:20 in the morning on a cruise ship, especially in a club. Katie's with us up in Martha's Vineyard. Morning, everyone, from beautiful Martha's Vineyard. 74 degrees up there. Wow. Sonny's with us down in Mississippi. Hi, Sonny. Cindy's with us. NCL has to be okay. Love that cruise line. Jason says, do you think you could do a segue? I think there's weight limits on segways. If there's not, there should be. And no, probably not, because I can't. I mean, yes, that's not walking, that's just standing on something. But then again, with my back issues, uh, I don't do well standing very long either. So, and that's one of the things that does seem to be getting worse, unfortunately. Um, I have a lot more dependency this time around, and maybe it'll change, but a lot more dependency on, like my scooter and my walker. I did get out yesterday afternoon and walk a little in the hallway with my walker, and of course with my oxygen. That's the other thing that there's even times now when I'm sitting, like now, that I'll need to get a jolt of oxygen. So those things are, I guess, going to happen. So a little swig for the old pipes there. A fight broke out at a concert by the Eagles while they were singing Take It Easy. Wow. Thought that was funny. Chillie, you should see if you have an opening to come to Bermuda with Robin and I are going on September 24th on the Carnival Magic. It's $320 per person for 6 days out of New York. Wow, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. And Jason says, must be the people from New York City crazy like Emily. Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of. My God, is Emily on that boat? We have a problem with the next door neighbors smoking on their balcony. Whoa. They have a glass full of cigarette butts. Seem we can enforce no shorts and aft MDR, but not smoking on balconies. Wow. Uh, they could be thrown off the ship for that. Well, of course, you're on Norwegian. I don't know if Norwegian would do that or not. Well, I tell you what, Royal Caribbean would in a heartbeat. Kenneth says, I'm in bed by 11 o'clock every time I take a cruise. The night before, I was in bed before that, Kenneth. I didn't make it much after dinner. Last night, it was after midnight before, because the show was late. The show was like at 10:15, I think. So it was, it was 11:15, 11:30 by the time I got back up to the room. So yeah, it was. That's late for me. So it was midnight before I called it a day, probably. Jason says, hi there, just report them to guest services. Hi there says, he's even earlier than that, getting too old to stay up after a day of touring. Yeah, Hot Air Tom goes diving into caves and and then riding a Segway with no hands. Wow. How full is ship percentage? I have not heard a percentage, but my guess is it's probably 90-ish. I mean, it's a pretty good number on here. It's other than the Alaska cruise, this is probably the fullest ship I've been on Royal. Now I don't know that to be a fact. I'm just going from the feel. I'll see if I can't find that one out though. Otter says he did report them to the steward. Okay. Our ship is close to capacity. Lots of small Bostonians running around. Yeah, there's quite a few kids on this too, um, but surprisingly not as many as I thought would be on in the summer months. So, um, how come I don't do shows in my cabin? I like to be out um, and do stuff out here in the open. Um, it gives me a chance for more people to see me, and I've been picking up a new subscriber or two almost every show, um, Tom, and that's good for me. That's good for the channel. So yeah, um, I don't even know. I assume my signal is good up there. The Wi-Fi has been pretty good here, from what I can tell. This new system that they're on seems to work well. Um, Hider says, "Oops, now we smell skunk." Yeah, Jason says, "Confront the smokers, and you can start a brawl on Norwegian." Ah. Kenneth wants to know, do you jump off of cliffs or trees in Bermuda? Let's see. Smash the like button for the old fat travel guy. I always appreciate that, Jason. You know that. Wonderful, and the balcony doors are closed. Nikki says, what fun we have future cruise credits we have to use before the year ends. Once I was the only one in there, though. Okay, Jason was answering that. I can tell by the pictures posted on Facebook you seem to have a great time on Creek Cruise. Well, you guys know that I love Jordan and Jared to death, and they are equally as much fun in person as they are on the air. And quite frankly, I told them last night, I said they have been uh, as important to me as you guys in my community have been, and keeping me alive. I mean, because they put having fun on cruises before anybody else did. Nobody knew how much you could start up, and they were out there on every cruise ship that reopened. So that was good for me at the time. It was good for the cruise community at the time, and that's why they've done so well. But I'm having a lot of fun. Great people in the group too. Oh my goodness, really really fun people to be around. Uh, we have one from Canada that I thoroughly. He lives in Montreal, speaks French and English. Terrific guy. I'm having a really good time. So no doubt about that. Cindy says I was up to 4 a.m. on the Conquest. The casino bar was the best on the last cruise. Wow. The one girl I go with is younger, and she stays at the club. Now it closes and then stays out until the sun comes up. Holy cow. I mean, even back in my $1,000 bar bill days, I never did that. Honest, never. So Jason said, Jason says, yeah, I didn't sleep one time on a cruise a long time ago on a sea day. Okay. Kenneth says, man, that prime rib you had the other day looked really good. That's one of the things that Royal Caribbean does really well. And on the prime rib menu, which is what I call it, I don't even know the other things on it because those days I order prime rib because it is always really good. So, and the other thing that Freedom does better than anybody else is shrimp cocktails. They're excellent. Now, last night I didn't photograph it because I was with other people and we were involved in conversations, and I was more interested in talking than I was in filming last night. But I had a wedge salad with the blue cheese sauce that Royal does that's really good. A shrimp cocktail, beef tenderloin. What did I have for dessert? Oh, a carrot cake for dessert. That was another really great meal. Um, to a lot of people, I'm probably very boring on the food choices because I go with the ones that I know that the particular ship I'm on does really well and that I like. So I'm always satisfied with the food. So some people might find that boring, but I don't. I like it. Kenneth asks, Sonny, how you doing today? He said, good. How are you? Hope NCL doesn't go belly up before my cruise in September. Well, I don't think they're that close, but I think they're in some trouble. I worry about the fact that they're having so much difficulty getting a crew. So, Hot Air says I'll do the cove swim and rock jump again next week. Yeah, Kenneth, he goes back to Boston and I don't know, gets some baked beans or whatever you do in Boston and goes back out to Bermuda again. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. For this silliness, I will be, since I am at shore today at CocoCay, I will probably not do a live stream later on today, although you never can tell. I am going to go ashore. We'll see how that goes. And I will see everybody back here tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock for travel and cruise industry news. For now, this is the old fat travel guy. Stay safe, stay healthy. Think about cruising, and one day soon we'll all meet on the high seas. See you guys tomorrow morning. Later, y'all.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.